So, nursing a baby. You guys know that I had a baby 5 weeks ago. So, she's nursing. But my boys are out of the house, so I thought now would be a good time to be able to just sit here and share this part of the farm life that I have never shared before in this way, but because I made her part of the channel, I just thought that it's fair that I explain what happened or tell you what happened last night. And I think that it's okay to cry and grieve. All this feels very weird for me because her life deserves to be honored. So last night, our mini donkey, who we recently brought home a few months ago, died, and it was unexpected, but it's not a surprise, but it still sucks. So if you know little Katie, we brought her home a few months ago. Like I said, she was loved by an older woman who had her just basically in my front yard. Our donkey needed a companion, and so I had posted on Facebook, and it worked out. We brought her home. Oh, she's been a little bit of a rehab project because, you know what, I made episodes for her, and I'll just post those in the description. So if you don't know little Katie, you can go back and watch her story, where she came from and like what we were working on to try to get her healthy. Long story short here is 2 weeks ago she had an abscess in her back right foot, and the vet was out, and for Leo's trim, which I had shared about. I shared a short for Leo getting his trim. The day the vet was here, she just said, yeah, abscesses right now we're seeing a lot of abscesses right now because there's more moisture this year, and you know, there's not a lot we can do. We didn't actually have to do like a poultice wrap or anything. She ended up blowing the abscess herself. So she was down, you know, because it was painful, and then it got better. So, and she was her normal self again. She's just like the most fun little donkey. She brays at us. We go out there and love on them, fly spray them, do their fly masks, visit with them. My kids love them, and she was following me around again like normal, begging for treats and frisking me for treats and nudging me with her little nose whenever I was petting Big Katie, the other donkey, too much. And I was just happy she was on the other side of having a painful abscess. And then a few days ago, I noticed that her behavior changed again, and she was laying down a lot. And when we first got her, she laid down all the time because her feet were grown sideways. Like, it was really horrific. It was hard for her to walk, and she just didn't feel good because she was on a poor diet. So she gets around normally until the abscess, and then now a few days ago I noticed she's laying down again, and I was like, well, that's kind of unusual, but maybe it's the weather. Maybe she's just resting more today. I don't know. But I could tell something was different. Her personality was different. She was quieter. Even when she was up, she was just kind of standing close to little Katie, or Big Katie, I'm sorry, standing close to Big Katie. She was still eating and drinking normally. She wasn't colicking, right? So like, I'm keeping an eye on her. And today's Monday. Saturday and Sunday, just more laying down. So I told my husband, I'm calling the vet Monday morning. We'll borrow my friend's small trailer that works great for hauling little minis, and we'll take her to the vet and just get a complete workup and see what's going on, get blood work, x-rays if they recommend it. You know, let's just do the whole thing and see why she might not be feeling very well. He's like, yeah, that's great, let's call Monday morning. Well, today's Monday, and my husband's still doing the chores in the morning because I'm newly postpartum and up all night with the baby, right? So he goes out there and feeds and lets the chickens out. Oh, and he came in after he was doing chores and just kind of said, and he just goes, I don't know how to say this, but little Katie died. All right, well, I got interrupted, and then I had a fussy newborn, and Eric's home now, so putting away some laundry, and I figured I could just wrap this up. So yeah, he wasn't joking when he said she passed away. But yeah, so I've talked to the vet since I started filming earlier, and she just said it's hard to know why. She was so unhealthy when we brought her home a few months ago that we knew there was a chance she wouldn't make it even then. But because she had kind of pulled through and her hoof rehab was going so well, I honestly thought that that's what it would have been her downfall. I'm not surprised, but it is unexpected, and I guess this is just part of doing the rescue thing. But to lose them just absolutely gets me. And now the worst part about it is Big Katie, the other donkey that was her companion, did not see us take her body out of the pen. So I had turned her out in the yard so that she was out of the way so we could get her body out of there. After she was taken away, something spooked Big Katie and she ran back to her pen and the gate was open. So she went in there. She went straight to the shelter where little Katie's body had been and just stopped dead in her tracks and just stared at where her body was. And then she started looking for her. She looked all over the pen for her. She looked behind the shelter. And there was a trail where her body had been, we dragged her body out, and she found the trail, the scent of her body, and she followed the trail all the way to the gate, and she walked back and forth, smelling where she could tell she had been. And she's still pacing the pen, trying to find her. And the last time we lost our other donkey, Katie, we had buried him next to the pen, and so she was with him when he died, and she saw where his body was, she saw where we buried him, and she actually stood over his grave for days after that, and for weeks she stood along the fence near where the area is that he was buried. So there was like a definite understanding that like he is there. And this time she just didn't see the body get taken away. And now I'm kicking myself for it because she's looking for her. So even though I think she knew that she had died, she was still looking for her. And the reason I say that is because yesterday too, I remember looking out, watching them through the window, and the way that little Katie was laying down and the way that Big Katie was standing over her, it brought back a memory of her standing over Ozzy the day he died. In my mind, I was like, don't think like that. That's really morbid. That's not what's going on here. We'll call the vet in the morning. It'll be fine. Well, obviously that's not what happened. My intuition was right. Something was really wrong. And I think that they knew what was happening, but I just didn't. So even though she spent time with her body overnight and then through some of the day today, she would go and sniff her and then walk away and sniff her and walk away. I think there's an understanding that she had passed away, but she doesn't know where her body went. And that is gonna haunt me for a long time. So I guess this is just part of rescuing, but it doesn't make it any easier. And I feel bad for Big Katie that she's out there looking for her and she's not there. I pictured us having a really bright future with little Katie, and my kids loved her and she was so gentle. She was such a funny little thing, and she was quirky and her bray was adorable. She just found her voice the last couple of weeks and now she's gone. So I just wanted you guys to know what happened, and a lot of you were invested in her story and following her hoof rehab because you've been here from when we brought her home a few months ago, and she's gone now, but I think she deserves to be grieved, and we'll do that. Right now I'm trying to explain to my 4-year-old that she's gone, and he keeps asking me why my eyes are sad. So I'm trying to tell him, explain that it's not my eyes that are sad, it's my heart that's sad, but I imagine she's with our other donkey. She's not hurting anymore, so.
Kiss. No. This one too. Oh, that was so sweet. Little dinner into the shelter, huh? Donkeys are not waterproof like horses, so it's important that they have good shelter, especially during rainy weather, huh, Katies? Right? Those are cutie girls. All right, bye.